There we go. Okay. So tonight, Sara Smith is going to do our call, and I'm so excited because Sarah's got a lot of really good advice for just so much different things she's going to touch on today. And Sarah's just been a rock star. I knew I liked her from the first day I talked to her. She was an Instagram lead, and I just got on the phone with her, and I just was like, this girl is awesome. And she started off, she just bought the 21-day fix base kit, no Shakeology. Really, right? You got the base kit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so she tried it out, and then she really liked it. So then we talked about the coaching. And so she jumped in on that, and she's just been really, really good at being herself. And, you know, I just love her posts. I go to her posts and they make me laugh. And that's what I really love, is when people are real and they don't try too hard to like try to sound like this professional coach, and it just comes across as fake. So, you know, whatever you are, like Sarah's got a funky, you know, silly personality. Like her post today cracked me up. It was like a picture of an omelet, and what was it? She was like omelet said, "Oh, I'm gonna let you finish." Like, cracked me up so much.
I cracked myself up too.
I know, and I love that you were like, I'm the funniest person I know. So yeah, Sarah does a really good job at that. She started as a coach in September, and her first time hitting Success Club was this past January. It was her and Angie and Melissa. They just kind of partnered up, and the three of them just like surprised themselves and everyone about how much they grew their businesses really quickly. And so Sara is pretty cool, because when I look at her downline of coaches, like all of her coaches are active, and I'm like, what is that like? Because I have so many coaches that, you know, are drinking Shakeology regularly. So she's really good at getting people that really do, you know, become a product of the product and continue to drink Shake regularly, which is also really cool. I think what her proudest moment was as a coach, and she said when she hit diamond. And so, you know, it's really sweet because, you know, yes, she's proud of herself for hitting diamond, but she's so good at being a leader that she was just really proud that she got her coaches, you know, and helped them get promotions. So there we go. I had to mute somebody. And so she's just been a great example of a leader. So I really wanted her to come and give some of her tips. So Sara will tell you a little bit about her story, and then she's going to talk about some different topics today. So go ahead, Sara.
Awesome. Thanks so much, April. This honestly is so awesome. And I'm so excited to be here because, you know, you guys were first and foremost my team. And, you know, as I branch off, I always come back to that and, you know, look to you guys for advice and inspiration. So thanks so much. This is awesome. So a little bit about my story. So I started out as a coach in September. I was working a retail job that I had worked for 12 years at that point. And I moved states with it, and I was a store manager. So my hours were really long. When I was living in Pennsylvania, I was commuting like an hour and a half a day. And it was just totally exhausting on top of my long days to begin with. So I took on coaching, but really didn't have much time for it, just like, you know, everyone else who, you know, has a crazy busy life. And I loved it. And it was kind of, you know, the kind of thing, and I have one of my friends, I remember we used to do these boot camps at the gym, and afterwards we would go back and sit in her hot tub, and we would just talk about like what our dreams were, and if we could do our dream job and whatever, and we would always like, you know, bash our jobs, and I would always be like, if I could do something, if I had the opportunity to do something that I loved, it would be like helping people be healthy and helping people make good decisions and learn about eating clean and things like that. I swear that was my conversation. And when I actually became a coach, I didn't really put two and two together that this was going to get me that. So in November, my husband was traveling for his job 5 days a week, and I was home with my dogs. And in November, my husband was offered a job for us to move out of state to Jersey. And at that point, he was kind of like, this is what you've been trying to do. Let's get you out of retail. And, once we're ready to move, give your notice, and we're going to end that chapter of your life right there. So that was something that probably to this day, if we were still living in Pennsylvania, I would still be there. So that was a huge turning point for me, and him enabling me to do that gave me so much freedom and whatever. But so my last day was Black Friday last year, went out with a bang, and we moved. I had a couple weeks in Pennsylvania to tie up, move, and whatever. And when we moved, he said, you have 2 weeks to make it happen for yourself, or you have to go out and find a job. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I really don't want to. I'm living the dream right now. I don't want to go out and find a job. So he was like, please, please, please. He would come home and be like, how many places did you go? And I was like, yeah, I went to 4 places. So he's sitting right here too. But anyway, so I would just be like, yeah, tomorrow. And I was like, I have to make this work. I need to make this work for myself. I saw so much potential. And I really, me, Angela, and Melissa, we met in the middle of January, and we put pedal to the metal, and my business took off. I was determined. I had a goal, and I was not going back to work, no matter what kind of work it was. He, Zach even said, you could just wait tables or just bartend just to make a couple $100s to help us out. And I was like, no, because this is my dream. This is what I want to do. And every single day to this point, I still thank him for letting me work my dream. But so anyway, so in January, my business totally took off. January 10th, started kicking ass, and just all these, I had at the end of the month, I had 26 Success Club points. I was posting. I came up with an awesome posting schedule. I was being consistent 100%. There was nothing getting in my way. And I was like, after a couple of weeks, Zach kind of let off the whole job hunt thing. And he was like, wow, this is amazing, babe. This is great. This is amazing. If you could do this, and our dogs, you'd be able to stay home with our dogs and they wouldn't be wrecking the place, I would love that. So that was it. A couple weeks is all it took, and it proved to him that, this was something that was going to be, I was going to be able to be successful off of it. So, my business was on fire. I had great momentum. I, was killing it. I think I ended with 27 Success Club points in January. Same February, again, 100%, pedal to the metal. Again, 25 Success Club points. Honey. And and it was just amazing. It was just, I was on this high. I would stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning talking to potential clients, and I was changing lives, and it was just the best feeling ever. There's nothing that can replace that for me. Nothing. No money or anything. Just helping people. It was just amazing. And so January, February, I got into a really good groove, and it was everything. And I was working all day, all night, weekends, everything. I would have people at my house, and I was still working, sitting at my dining room table where I posted up working. And so I hit Emerald almost right away in January, and then I was on a mission to hit Diamond. I was like, it's gonna happen, and I was building my team, and so awesome, best feeling ever, watching people do what you're loving to do. It was the best feeling. And in March, I decided that I was going to invest in my team. So I was going to take all that energy and I was going to provide them with training that I felt that would help them propel their business. And I kind of like took a back seat to my clients and wanted to help my coaches. So that's kind of where my business kind of hit a plateau and then kind of went down a little bit. So, just as a marker, in March, I had about 15 Success Club points. So, I called it an investment month. I really wanted to invest in my team, and I wanted them to bring them the same success and the same amazing feeling that I have brought to myself. And then April happened. And I got to April, and my husband, his job was really slow at the time, so he was able to only work Monday through Thursday. So every single Thursday night or Friday morning, we would pick up, and we decided we were going to go away every weekend, and we were going to take the dogs and go on these cool trips and adventures. And I decided that I was only going to work like a couple days a week, limited hours, because I felt at that point my business would sustain itself. And that was my biggest eye-opener, was April. And I really thought that the people would keep contacting me, and I wouldn't have to continue to follow up, and I wouldn't have to contact new people, because that would just miraculously like spread like wildfire, and it was going to be contagious, and everybody was going to come to me, and I was never going to have to go to anyone again. And that's where my eyes were opened, because in January I set these huge goals for myself. To start out, I wanted to hit Success Club 10 every month, and that was going to be my goal no matter what. And I was like, you know what, that's real. I really don't know about that. And then when you see it's like really possible, you're like, well, I'm not giving it up now. I'm not giving it up in April when I hit it 3 months in a row. And I also, because of the cruise that came up in January, and the qualifications were to sign on 12 coaches, I was like, all right, that's one a month. I think I can swing that. Not really sure. Chance is not good. And then all of a sudden by March, I had 10 coaches. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, I never dreamed that was even possible. So I, all these things were happening for me. And then in April, just goes this back seat and was like, oh, it'll just multiply itself. And then, to be honest, I ended up pulling out Success Club in April, and in May, halfway through May, I got on the phone with my April McDonald, and she was like, what's going on? Like, what's up? And I was like, I got really complacent. I really thought that I got too comfortable. I was taking every single weekend off, not just the weekends, but like long weekends, like 4-day weekends. And I was totally letting it go. And, that was so eye-opening to me, because this is real. And she said to me, if this is your business and you're okay with where you're at, fine, then take every weekend off. But if you have goals, and you have goals that you want to hit and you want to achieve them, then maybe you need to, reevaluate those weekends, and what does that mean to you? What do those weekends mean to you? So I think moral of the story was that I got so excited to be able to have that freedom after working in a retail position for so long that I let it go to my head, and I was loving my life. But at the same time, this is a business that I loved, and I was back burnering it. So in June, I brought it back to basics. And I think the most important thing when you're having success and you have even like a really good week or a really good post or a really good anything of signing on coaches or a really good run, is to go back to look at what worked. If you post a awesome post and you get 100 likes on it, what was that post about? Go back and duplicate that and make that happen again. If you know, in January and February, I was sticking to a very strict posting schedule. I was posting and sticking to it at least twice a day, and every single day my posts were the same, you know, for that day every week. And that worked for me, and that gave me a lot of exposure. And I had to go back to that. I was not, you know, good enough to on the fly come up with these, you know, random things of the day. I had to go back to making myself a schedule. And you know, ultimately in June, I was determined I want to go to the Success Club party in Nashville, and I'm determined, and I'm back better than ever. And I am determined, and what I'm doing and is really going back to what worked for me in the beginning. So I think that it's really important to see what you were doing to gain success and then go back to the basics. Like, you know, like that quote, keep it simple, stupid. Like, really, that's really what it is go back and look at what worked for you. And that's what I tell my team. And that's contagious, I think, is, you know, just making sure that those things align for yourself. I think that it was just a matter for me of getting way too comfortable and, you know, figuring out I still can have that comfort. And I'm going away this weekend for the first time this month instead of every weekend this month. But I know what I have to do to make sure that my business doesn't, you know, go to the wayside in the meantime. So that's really, you know, where, you know, my biggest aha moment was. And I invest a lot of time in my team. And, you know, as April said, I have a ton, most of my coaches are active. And what I advise as far as that goes is to turn your clients into coaches. I actually don't have many clients left that are just clients because most of them became coaches. Melissa Deal was you know, she was a client and a coach at the same time. Gina was a client turned into a coach. So I think that that's definitely where my success lies, because you have someone who's invested in the product already, and now they just need to spread that seed to everyone. But that's pretty much it. April, do you have any questions for me?
I just wanted to kind of touch on some of the things you said, because that was really, really awesome. And I feel like a lot of people listening are totally going to relate to that. You know, my sister included, I know that she, you know, was like on fire. And then you just kind of, sometimes when you're like you said, you were working it all the time and you were just having fun with it, but that's not sustainable. You know, it's not sustainable to be like, everybody else, you suck. I am focusing on this, you know? And so you get burnout. And so I think that there's so many people that go through spurts where they're like, this is so fun, I'm so excited. And then they're like, I need to have a life. I need to find a balance. So I just love that you shared that, because there's so many coaches out there that, you know, think that they need to be doing it all day long, and myself included. Like, I need to set work hours and not be doing it from the time I get up to the time I go to bed here and there. I want to set 4 hours at a time, you know, 2 hours here, 2 hours here, and be done with it. Because if you're consistent and you like literally are doing what you should be doing and not scrolling through Facebook, which I'm like guilty of doing stupid stuff like that, then you really can do this business. And like you said, you're going away this weekend. Well, you can still make posts and you can still get up maybe 30 minutes earlier and send 5 messages and still feel like, okay, at least I did my business. You know, it's not like you have to get dressed, get ready, drive to work, do this. Like, you can do that. You can take your job, you know, when you go on vacations and things. So that's what, you know, finding a balance, because honestly, I don't think anybody should ever go a day without working their business. You don't need to put an 8-hour day in, but even if it's, you know, 30 minutes to an hour, you should do that. Unless it's like your honeymoon or your family vacation. Like, I'm totally fine with you unplugging for an entire week for stuff like that. But, you know, Yeah, I totally agree with that. So have you kind of made yourself more of a schedule since you've been back on track?
Yes. I was actually just saying this the other day to Angela because we were talking about how sometimes it's easier when you have too much to do to find time to do stuff than it is when you have so all the time in the world. And you know that too from when you stopped working. It's like you're like, oh, okay, well, 8 hours till my husband comes home, and it's like, well, I could do so much in that 8 hours, or I could do nothing and a lot of it for 8 hours. So basically my day is pretty much the same every day. I get up, eat breakfast, I work out, and go into my office and stuff, and then work out. And, I send all of my messages during the day, but I know that for me, my business doesn't pick up till the evening. That's not something that's preferable to me because my husband works during the day, but my business is like a 5 to midnight type of business. It's not a noon to 5 thing. So I could send all my messages, but I know that I'm not going to hear back from a lot of people until the evening. So I get them out of the way and stuff. I also check in with my team during those hours. A lot of my team is available during that time, so I'm able to kind of touch base with them. And I try to check in with, most of my team every day, and at least, make sure that they have what they need and whatever. And a big thing, I try to always look at what I'm not doing and what I need to be doing more of. And a big thing for me was, checking into my groups. That would be like huge, frog for me. I'm like, bruh, if I don't have anything to say, I don't want to say anything. So going in and checking in and making sure that my clients are taken care of in the groups and that any of their questions are being answered. And then at night, it's pretty much go time. I have my team call one day a week, try to get on, Kelly's and yours, and my nights are pretty much spoken for. So that's something eventually that I will hope that I won't have to do 5 nights a week. But that's what my business needs right now. That's when it works. That's when, my clients are able to talk to me, and that's when I'll give them to talk. So, maybe that won't be forever, but for now, that's what it has to be.
Yeah, and that's really true. But I mean, if you set it down that, hey, okay, from 5 to 7, or 5 to 6:30, I'm going to be, responding to these messages, whatever your time. But then after that, we can watch our shows, we can do TV, whatever. There's just no real point in being like, I'm going to work for another 4 hours after I was working all day. If somebody sends you a message, it'll be there tomorrow kind of thing. So yeah, it just, for anybody that's, in a funk, just know that just because, if you've been working all day and you're like, okay, well, I want to watch a movie, but I have these messages, it's kind of like you have to train your brain, like, it'll be there tomorrow. And I'll just tell them like, hey, I'm heading to watch a movie with my, husband, but just let me know, kind of what your struggles are, depending on what they messaged you. And then I'll get back to you tomorrow. And I think that people really respect your business more when you do that. So I also wanted to ask you, you said that you turn your customers into coaches. So if somebody's listening and they have a customer that loves their Shakeology, they're really, they're that person that's posting a lot in the group, but they're not sure how to talk to them about coaching. They're nervous. Can you kind of give us a script or a way to bring the conversation up to your customers and how you talk to them about coaching?
To be honest, like I will always recognize who is present, especially when Biggest Loser kicked off in January. That was huge because we saw a lot of client interactiveness interaction in that month. And that's when, I was kind of like, when I'll get into a conversation with a client, if their like passion speaks to me the way that I speak about eating healthy and like if they'll be like, you know, ew, there was chemicals in this, and I want to eat clean, and I want to do it for my family, and that kind of thing. And you hear them coming across and making really like bold and passionate statements. That's when I'll be like, you're saying a lot of things that are like my song, same kind of thing. Like, do you ever think about doing what I do? Or, if they were really into working out even before they started, or they have this amazing transformation, or they're just I'll see them posting and on their own Facebooks, and they're just very motivational in what they're saying, whether it be about the weather or, a recipe they made or something like that. And a lot of times I'll be like, you're doing half the job already. Why don't we get you on board and whatever. And their passion, speaks to me. Like, I don't have to then convince them to purchase Shakeology because they know they already like it. And I don't have to talk them into the product and tell them that this is great because they know that they already like it. So it's more so explaining the opportunity and what it could provide for them, and then just going from there.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to open it up and see if anybody else has any questions. I think I have everybody muted. So if anybody has any questions or anything at all, whether it be for Sara or for the team in general, or it doesn't even have to be for Sara. If you have a question, Sara can answer it for you. So is there anything that anybody wants to know or that you're struggling with that we can help you with? Let's see who's here. We've got Gina and Kim. Kim, even if you're not struggling with something, I'm going to make you talk. Okay, so would you say, Kim, you are so awesome at being so consistent. It's freaking amazing. I think all the time, if all of our coaches were like this, like, the world would be happy and confident and skinny and making a lot of money.
I think that too. And Kim, I've sang your praise before. Like, I just think you're freaking awesome.
Thank you guys.
So, and I love Kim's story because Kim started off and she was being really consistent and she was just not making sales. She was like, I'm doing all this. I'm not signing on coaches. And it gets really scary. You're really worried at first. If that first sale is kind of like gives you that confidence boost, and that's kind of what you really need. You're like, okay, I got this. But you didn't quit. And I'm so proud of you because there's so many coaches just like you that were doing it, and nothing was happening, and they quit. But you didn't, and now you're Emerald, and you've got a lot of interaction on your page. So what would you say, was kind of like the turning moment in your business? You were being consistent, but what do you think that was kind of like the turning moment for you that you started seeing, like the proof is in the pudding kind of thing, but where did you start seeing the proof?
I'm not sure. I just told myself that I was not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue to be consistent. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, even if I'm not making any sales, because when I do talk to people and reach out to people, I have so many people that tell me how much I'm helping them just by reading my stuff, even though they're not interacting with my posts, or they're not reaching out to me to talk to me, or they may not be interested in what I'm doing, but they're benefiting from it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's helped give me more confidence to continue doing what I'm doing, even if I'm not seeing as good results as I would like to see, because I know it's going to get there.
Mm-hmm. And so do you think it was like your why, and you saw, you're thinking about like the things that you wanted to achieve that got you, that kept you on track, or what was it exactly that was like, I'm going to make it work?
Yeah, my why. I want to stay home with my kids, and I'm going to do whatever I can do to make that work, because that's what I want to do. The way my life is going right now, I'm not going to be able to continue homeschooling my daughter in the next couple of years if it keeps going the way it is.
Yeah.
I just don't have time to. So I know that
You
within the
homeschool?
next couple of years, I do.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that. You go, girl.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, she's young right now, so
Yeah.
it doesn't take very much during the day. But when in the next couple of years, it's going to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good for you. That's awesome. So that's just another reason to just, when you get coaches, like, make them to their why, and like a deep why exactly of what it means, and make them write it down. They just tell you and they forget about it. No big deal. So, writing it down, putting it somewhere where they're going to see it all the time. Awesome. Thanks, Kim. Okay, Gina. How are you? Oh, wait, you're muted. Hold on. Let me unmute you. Let's see. I can't figure it out. Hold on. I don't do it there. There you go. Okay, we can hear you now.
All right. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. So how are things going with you?
Things are going much better this month. Sara knows because she was kind of like my personal therapist for a little while. Last month was really difficult, and I was starting to lose a little bit of steam.
Mm-hmm.
This month, I decided to just kick my ass back into gear and just be really positive and keep posting. And as of today, I potentially have 2 challenge packs sold. So,
yay, congrats.
and 2 from people I didn't expect. So it was really a nice, like, rewarding feeling to feel like, okay, I'm consistently posting again and I'm showing my face again. And, the fruits of my labor, I guess, are showing themselves. It gets stressful because you work full time and you have your house and you have your kids and you're just like, you're all over the place. And it's so easy to just not do what you're supposed to be doing. But, at the end of the day, it's about your why. Like right now, I'm cooking dinner as I'm on this call with you guys because I know that both need to happen and both are important. And,
I love it.
You just have to do it. And thank you, Sara, for putting up with me because.
Anytime, girlfriend. I wasn't letting you go.
What?
I said I wasn't letting you go.
No, I wasn't going anywhere. I'm not much of a quitter.
So have you kind of set like a power hour, Gina? Do you have a power hour that you kind of follow now to help you with your busy schedule?
I do. I find that at work, believe it or not, is my best time to answer back to people, and especially like my lunch hour. Because when I meal prep and I have food there, I don't have to go anywhere. So I'm just sitting in the training room by myself.
Yep.
So I might as well be on my phone, like creating posts, talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
I followed some advice from Sara and I sent somebody a compliment. It was a genuine compliment, but one I probably would have felt too nervous to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking, and I'm thinking she might be a good coach prospect. So
Awesome.
little steps at a time. But yeah, I've been trying to work, especially while I'm at work and Dominic doesn't need my attention. It's best to use that time, and allocate it productively as opposed to just sitting there and twiddling my thumbs.
Exactly. And I've said this a couple of times, but something that helps me even sleep better is I write down the night before from my list the 5 people I'm going to reach out to, the 5 people I'm going to follow up with, and like the 3 people I want to talk to about coaching. So I put it in my planner. And then on the way to work, I would listen to my personal development in the car. On the way home, I would talk to, coaches and customers. And then on my lunch break, like you, I would send those messages, make posts and things like that. So you just kind of have to make the best of the time that you do have. And I love so much, I don't remember which personal development this was, but they said, you have to sacrifice now so that you can celebrate later, and so we're going to all be sacrificing and maybe sleeping less or, saying no to going out with friends every night or doing this or that, but you're going to be able to live later like others can't because you're living now like they won't. There's a lot of people that are like, I can't do Beachbody. I need a guaranteed income. I need some type of security. And I've said that for about 3 different businesses. Salpada is a jewelry company. It's very similar to Beachbody, the way it's put up. A Mary Kay lady literally harassed me for a year to do Mary Kay, and I was just like, no. And And then there was another one. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember 3 network marketing companies. I was just like, oh, one was a direct sales for personal training, but I was like, I can't do a job where it's all sales based. Like, that's scary to me. And the time that I was willing to give it a go was this, because I knew that I was passionate about that. And that's the other thing too, is, you just have to love what you do and you can make it your own business. It doesn't have to be like, this is what I do it. You can do it in your own way, in your own, manners, and you get to pick who you work with, which is cool. So it becomes a really awesome business with some really cool people. So,
Absolutely.
Anything you have for Sara or Igina while we have you? Any questions or anything you're struggling with?
I think I'm okay for right now, but I will definitely be in touch. Sara knows that much.
Okay. Well, Sara, thank you so much. And you guys, Gina and Kim, thanks so much for jumping on. I know you're, busy schedules, but, you can show that you're multitasking. There goes Kim just driving along. And Gina making dinner. So, yeah, I really appreciate it. And Sara, okay, so if you were going to give, somebody is currently in a rut listening to you and saying, girl, you're speaking to my heart. What is your closing advice to that person?
Oh, geez. Do what you're doing 100%, not for the money. And don't think about money when you're talking, posting, anything. Do it because you have a passion for it. Do it with your whole heart, and really put money and factors like that to the side, because when I am myself and not a cookie cutter version of anyone else's posts or anything like that, I get the best response. So just be you. And I know that that's like a reoccurring theme, and everybody says that, but it's true. Like, you don't want to be anyone else. You want to be yourself. So totally 100% be you. Be stupid. Tell the worst jokes. Like, I tell the worst jokes. So that's me. That's me. Yeah. So at the end of the day, anyone can go to anyone to get a program or a product. Anyone. Mm-hmm. And the reason why people come to you is because of who you are and the way that you present yourself. So anyone can go to the website. So it's just about being you and driving that home.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you. So,
no problem.
All right. Well, you're good to go. You can put your hair up, your sweatpants on.
That's what I'm wrong, girlfriend. Don't let the tank top fool you.
You're funny. So, okay. Well, thanks so much. You rock. And thank you guys for joining. And we will see you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.